Well, howdy friends, Brian Flechsig of Mad River Outfitters in the Midwest Fly Fishing Schools, and welcome back to another one of our knot tying tutorials. And today, this has been a long time coming. I think I promised this to you quite a while back, and we're finally getting around to it. So thanks for your patience, and thanks as always for being here. We really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, that really helps us out. Hit the like button, you know all that stuff. Bimini twist. This is, it's like the holy grail of knots, and it scares the pants off a lot of people. And I think we're going to show you today that it makes this way of tying this knot makes it super easy. The purpose of a Bimini twist, we've actually done this in a video. We've shown you why we use a Bimini twist in our backing. And it's that video is probably linked right here. If you can't see it right there, it's down in the description. But anyways, let's go over it again. As many of you know, a lot of fly lines these days come with a welded loop in the back end as well as they do the front end. The back end, which is white, has the welded loop in it. And whether I'm putting on a brand new fly line out of the box or I've got a fly line that's just being stored, for example, on one of these Omni spool switch boxes, having a loop in the backing allows you to easily swap out fly lines. If your fly line does not have a loop in the back end of it, we've also made a video about that. We've shown you how to whip a loop in the back end of your fly line so that you can do this. And that video is linked right here. And if not, you can't see that, it's down in the description. Because this is the much preferred connection. Okay, if you're fishing, say, a 5-weight, 4-weight, 3-weight for freshwater, you can simply nail knot the backing on there. But for anything 6-weight and larger, especially big game and saltwater, where you are probably gonna see your backing, this connection is wildly important, and there's no better than this Bimini loop to the fly line. And then we'll get into the knot, don't worry. We're gonna come through the loop in the fly line with that Bimini loop in my backing. And I'm gonna go around the spool once, and then here's the important part. You make a twist, one twist, and then come through again. And what that does is it allows 1, 2, 3, 4 contact points. When you go to tighten that down, make sure that both legs of the Bimini are tight. That way you're distributing that weight over both legs of the loop, and you've got 4+ contact points where it attaches to the fly line. That's gonna be much better than 2 contact points, which can actually dig into the line and cause that loop to break. And obviously you don't want that. So, and then to take it off, you just slide that loop out, and then you're gonna come over the box once, make your twist the opposite direction, and then come through again with that box, and your loop will come right off. Okay, so it's an easy way to swap out fly lines. You don't have to tie a knot. You're not losing backing. You're not cutting back on your fly line. And a Bimini is a 100% knot. Okay, this is one of the few knots that's actually 100% in strength. It's as good as tying direct. Having this double makes it twice as strong. So anyhow, let's take a quick look at this. There's a couple of tricks when it comes to tying a Bimini. Now, I've got myself laid out a little knot tying station. And what I've done is I've taken these command strips, which we don't sell these. We're not sponsored by Command Strips. I'm sure there's other brands out there, but I just happen to get these at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. And what I've done is I've laid 3 of them here, kind of in a triangle. And I'm gonna show you how to do this also if you don't have a knot tying station. And it's the way that Lefty Kreh originally showed us this back, I don't know, in the 1990s sometime. And I'm gonna show you how Lefty showed us to do it by using your knee, okay? For demonstration purposes, I'll do it here with these command strips, and then I'll show you how to do it with your knee. So the Bimini is also called the 20 times around knot. And you're about to find out why. So what you do is I fold the line over and I make a loop right here. Okay, and then I pinch with my thumb and my index finger of my left hand. And then I just kind of splay my hand out as such, keeping that loop pretty open, and you're just going to start to twist. And you twist just by rotating your hand like this. Okay, I go under and then come back over. And I keep it around my hand, my thumb and my pinky as well. And I think I've just done 4, and forgive me, I can't count and talk at the same time. So we're going to go 5, 6, 7. There's 20 times around. So there's 20 wraps right there. Now, and the method I'm going to show you in a minute, Lefty had us put this around our knee. I've put this around my command strips on my knot tying table, which I have one like this at home. And that keeps this loop open, which is of utmost importance. Okay, now here's the big trick to this. With my left hand, I'm gonna hold the standing end tight, and with my right hand, I'm gonna hold the tag end tight. And I bring the tag end out at about 90 degrees or so. Okay, so I've got my loop. It's being secured by either some sort of tensioner, or you're gonna find out around your knee. I'm holding tight, and I've got those 20 wraps intact. You're going to hold on to the tag end with your thumb and your middle ring and pinky, and you're going to reach forward with your index finger. And in doing so, that angle that was 90 degrees becomes much larger. It becomes an obtuse angle as opposed to 90 degrees. And I keep tension, and you see my thumb is on top of that. Now, here's the trick. I'm going to take my index finger, and I'm going to, keeping everything under super tension, I'm going to pull the loop to me. And you'll see that if I keep it under tension, those wraps just stack right in on top of one another. You can start with them kind of slightly apart, and then as you get closer to the loop itself, you stack those loops in nice and tight. Okay? And then I'm going to switch hands and simply throw a half hitch or an overhand knot over one leg of that loop, and that's going to hold that in place. Okay? I'm going to finish this up by putting a uni knot, which is, by the way, also called a Duncan knot. And I'll just come 3 or 4 times around with a uni knot going over top of both legs of the loop. And it's a little tricky to get that to seat just right. So, and I'm going to do that again, but I want to show this to you with some bright colored fly lines so you can see how those loops or how those wraps just start to stack and immediately roll right over top of your loop and right down to the fly line. It's a really pretty cool trick, and it's all about the angle and keeping the proper tension as you pull back on the crux of that loop, pulling it back towards you. So with this fly line, I'm probably only going to go about 10 turns or so because it's much thicker. Okay, and I'm going to come around my station there. Okay, so again, the left hand is pulling tight on the standing end, and this hand, I keep tension on it with my thumb and my other fingers. My middle finger, or my index finger. So I reach up and I grab the crux of that loop with my index finger, and as I start to bring that back towards me, you see that that tag end just starts to kick right over top. Having them kind of spread apart at first is fine, and then we want to start stacking them closer, 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 closer. Okay, that's what that's going to look like. I keep tension, keep my index finger in there, switch hands, and then I'll throw that one half hitch over one leg, and that's what that Bimini looks like. And now I'm going to close that loop a little bit, and I can throw my uni knot 3 or 4 turns. I'll just do 3 turns here with the fly line, and you're going to slide that uni right up against that. and that's going to hold it into place. I got one more trick that I'll show you, but let's do that one more time with backing. I'm sorry to be so in-depth. I'm sure we're going to have a short version of this too, so if you don't like listening to me talk, which is fine, I don't either. All right, so here we go. We're going to tie this kind of more in real time. So I'm going to pinch right here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'll put in 21 just for good measure. Okay, get my right angle right here. Hold tight. Reach up. That opens up that angle, and as soon as I start to pull back to myself, immediately those wraps start to just stack right on top of the loop. I change hands and I throw a half hitch right over top there. Now I'm going to make the loop less wide so that I can come around 1, 2, let's go 3 turns here, and then this is kind of tricky to get that Duncan loop or the uni knot to seat just right, but there we go. That worked pretty well. And one final trick that we do is I'll go ahead and trim that, but I'll leave a little bit of a tag in. Now check this out. This is what we do here at the shop. I'll just singe the end of that backing, and before it burns into the knot, it'll just seat right into itself, and it kind of glues it in there. You don't want to use glue on this, you don't need it, but that's just a little added extra security. It kind of singes that end, kind of melts it into itself. Again, you got to get that, you don't want to burn the knot, so you have to get it just right. So there you have it, that's the Bimini. Now let's take a look at how you would do this if you're in a boat or out in the field somewhere, or you don't have a knot tying station like I do here in the studio or at my home. Okay friends, if you don't have a knot tying station or knot stabilizer, whatever you want to call it, this is how Lefty Cray taught us to tie this knot many, many years ago. Flip does it this way. Just about anybody, if you're out in the field, you're on a boat, you can use your knee to do this. Okay, so same knot. You form your loop 20 times around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then put your knee up and just bring this right over your knee like this. Hold it in place, and then everything I've shown you stays the same. Support those two pieces. Pull the crux of the loop right back at you, and your Bimini is formed. Then you're going to throw a half hitch over top, and there you have it. Now the one thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find something thinner than your knee so that you can tie that uni knot over top, okay, because you need this to be a little more closed. Something thinner than your knee to do the uni knot to finish this. But there's the meat of the Bimini right there. So I've just moved over here to the doorknob in the studio, come around the doorknob, and that allows the two legs of the loop to stay tighter. Here in the shop on our reel winding machine out on the store floor, we've got a nice little post on the reel winding machine that's just perfect for this. So I'm going to throw my 3 or 4 turns. 1, 2, we'll just go 3 turns on that uni knot and cinch it right down so it butts right up against my Bimini. Give it a nice little tighten, and you are done, my friends. You trim it, and then I kind of singe the end of that just ever so slightly so it burns right down and in. Don't burn the knot. And there you have it. A Bimini twist. Nothing to be afraid of. It's not that tough. It is the way to attach your backing to your fly line, especially say 6-weight and up. This knot can also be used in a leader. You can tie this in monofilament, and we'll be talking about that in the weeks to come. We've got a video coming up with Flip Pallet where he uses a Bimini twist and a tarpon leader. So as always, friends, we appreciate you being here. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That really helps us out, and it's free. Hit the like button, that just makes us feel good. Hop on over to madriveroutfitters.com, show some love, join a mailing list. We appreciate your support. So thanks as always for being here, and be sure to watch this video here and watch that video here, because you know, we've got a lot of fly fishing content. So stay tuned.